Greetings all, BWS2K here. Today we are going to look at CortexPal2000, which is a Discord bot that you can use to play Cortex, you can use it to roll dice, and you can use it to do other fun things. It was created by Don Bisdorf, and I will put a link to the page in the description for this video, but you're also looking at it right there. When you get there, the first thing you want to do is invite the bot to your Discord server, which you can do by scrolling down and clicking that link right here. And that is going to bring up the page to invite it. You select your server that you're going to invite it to. And in our case, I have a server set up specifically for us to mess around with CortexPal. So we'll choose that, and then we'll give it all the permissions it needs, and then we'll prove that we are human. And now we will go to our Discord server. And there it is. CortexPal2000 just showed up. So now it's just me and CortexPal. Now the screen is sort of stretched a little bit, so you don't see the very top of my Discord, but we're going to see pinned messages, and I'm assuming that you understand how pinned messages work, but if you don't, at the top of your Discord window, there's like a little hashtag with a speech bubble, there's a bell, and then there's a pin, and that pin is where the pinned texts are. On my first shooting of the video, it was clear that folks may not see where I was clicking, and in a bit, that's where I'll be clicking. So there's nothing fancy going on from here on out. It's just going to be commands for CortexPal. So what can we do with CortexPal2000? Well, we can do a couple cool things. Let's create a channel, and we'll call it First. And go hang out in First. Now, the easiest thing to do with CortexPal is to roll, which is going to be /, and when you type /, you get all of the possible / commands for everything on your Discord server. There's some default ones, but right here on the left you can see CortexPal2000. It's the green Cortex symbol looking one, and these are all some different things that you can type, and if you scroll you'll see all the options that you have of things to type, both for CortexPal, which is over there on the right, and then for Discord stuff as well. And if you have other bots or other things on your Discord server, you'll see those options as well. So the ones that matter for us, we're going to do / roll. We could also have clicked on it in that list, just like this list pops up here. We could click on this, or we could just continue typing. So I'm going to type space, and then it asks me dice. So I'm going to type 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8, 8, and that's going to roll 2 d4s, 2 d6s, and 2 d8s. And in this case, I rolled a hitch, which is the 1. It's in bold, and it's in parentheses. I can also type it out like this. 2d4, 2d6, 2d8, and it will recognize, excuse me, it will recognize that format as well. So that's the basic, simplest way to use CortexPal as a roller. I use it like that very often. One of the first commands that may make sense to use is to go / and then option space best space on. And this is going to change it so that it's going to actually suggest to you or tell you what the best possible total is. And if there's a different total but with a higher effect die, it will tell you that as well. So let's try that. So / roll space. I'm going to do 3d4, 3d6, 1d8, and 1d10. Okay, so at the bottom you can see the best total, the highest total that we can get is a 16 with a d8 effect. But if for whatever reason we wanted to maximize our effect rather than our total, we could go for a lower total of 10 with a d10 effect. So the d10 effect is obviously higher than the d8, but the total is lower. So that's sort of the next level, if you will, as far as rolling goes. From there, there's lots of other really cool things you can do. And you can, by the way, turn that off by going option, space, best, space, and then it puts in switch, and you can just type off. And now that function is no longer going to take place. Okay, a couple cool things you can do. Pin. Well, so if you type info, currently there's no Cortex game information being stored by CortexPal, but we can tell it to store some things. So we're going to type / pin, and that post that we just made, the Cortex game information, it is now going to pin that information in this channel. So now this is where if we go up, and I know it's not something you can see, but if we click pinned messages, you can see there's this pinned message and we can jump to it if we needed to. So if we were doing play by post or something like that. But there's no information there. So let's put some information there. Let's do asset, add, Cyclops. And to navigate here between the who and the what, I'm going to press the tab button. Visor, tab, 12. So that creates a new asset in the game for Cyclops, D12 visor. All right. You can do that command with assets. You can do it with plot points. You can do it with complications. You can do it with custom pools. And I'm missing one. Assets, plot points. Oh, XP. You can do it with XP as well. So we can do complication, which is just comp here. And press tab. So we're going to comp add Cyclops, tab, emotional. I guess it's not stress. You could do it as stress, I guess, but so there's a complication on him. We could do add stress. Come on. Oh, sorry, stress, add Cyclops, tab. Let's do physical, tab, D12. So now he's got all this mess going on. And if we click our pinned messages, we'll see that game information there. And we could also type /info and it will display that information as well. But now maybe we want to get rid of them. So if we do /stress and we go step down, all one word, Cyclops, and then we step down. So we're stepping down stress, so we're going to step down physical. That's what we called it. So it is going to step down, and now he has D10 physical. So if you notice, when I do the / and I do stress, you can see all the different options that I can do with stress. I can add, remove, step down, clear, and step up. And the same is true with asset and with the others. And we can do that with XP. We can add, clear, or remove. And we can do that with plot points. We can add, clear, or remove. So all of those things are there, but you can also just type /help and it will list for you a bunch of different things. And then from this menu, or not from this menu, but within this menu, you can type help on specific things. So you're really interested in help on stress. So help space stress, and that will give you more information on what you can do with the stress command. Okay, so excellent for rolling. Cool ways to track things. One of the other things that you can do is have a pool. So if you do help pool, this will show you how you can actually have a like a crisis pool. You could theoretically use it for a doom pool as well if you wanted to keep track of that information there. But you can, it just like the stress and just like the complications and everything, it's kind of its own category of pools. So you would name it like Raging Fire or Doom or whatever pool you're using to be represented there. And I suppose you could use it for hero dice as well, because you can name a lot of these things. Scene distinctions aren't one of those categories, but what you can do is add, if we do asset, add, and then for who, if we type scene, and then we say Raging Fire, then now in our pinned messages under assets, the owner of that asset is scene. So you could have a category of assets or complications or whatever, and just call it scene and know that that's the scene distinctions, that there's Raging Fire. So one other interesting thing that we can do, we're going to add a channel, and we're going to call it second. If we come down here, we can still roll because CortexPal is in the server. I'm going to click this time. Let's do 8, 10, 12. Okay, that's cool. But if we do info, it doesn't show us the information from the other channel because CortexPal is only paying attention to one channel at a time. There is a way to get channels talking to each other. So if I come back to first, let's say I want this to be sort of my main channel, okay? I can do switch. And instead of the option best thing, I'm going to choose option join. And I'm going to say switch on. other channels can now join this channel. And what that means is other channels can now talk to this channel. So we come back to second and we do option, join, and then we do channel. We just type first. Maybe I gotta do it like that. I don't know if it'll let us do that. No, okay, so I'm gonna click it. So option, join, I must have missed a command. Option, join, oh, channel. I should have typed channel first. And then we'll pick first. And then option, join, channel, first, enter. So now this channel, second channel, is talking to the first channel. So that means if I come over here and I do asset, add Cyclops, and let's give him his uniform, and it's a D4. If I type info, I now have access to all of that information, and it tells me it's from joined channel. And if I come up here to the first channel, where it is pinned, I can see he's got the D4 uniform in addition to his D12 visor listed under his assets. Okay, so very simple when it comes to rolling, which is mostly how I ever use CortexPal, but it is helpful for tracking things, great for a play-by-post game if you're into play-by-post and keeping things in different channels. The reason you might have this first and second and joining the channels, the reasons I can think of for having that function would be if you are doing a play-by-post and people are in different locations, but they're all contributing to the same thing, or if you're doing like a double blind or something to that effect, where you can actually take channels, because you can set up permissions such that some people might not be able to see the first channel and some people might not be able to see the second channel, but they would both be contributing to the same game information block that you could maybe have pinned elsewhere or something like that. You could have multiple channels join. So that's that. Again, thanks so much for Don Bisdorf. His communication or his contact information is on that first page, which again, I will link in the description. If you have any comments or questions or observations, you're welcome to leave them in the comments and I can either answer them or pass them along to Don. Thanks so much for watching. Excelsior.